Picture this: a bear foraging and eating, packing on the pounds to hibernate and survive a long, harsh Canadian winter. But nearby, a panther stalks and slinks in the shadows, studying its prey, considering its next meal, waiting to pounce. Will the panther defeat the unsuspecting bear, or will the bear crush the panther beneath its enormous paws? While this may never happen in the wild, it's happening tonight. Join us this evening as we find out which team has what it takes to triumph. Hello and welcome, UNI Panther fans and esports fans alike. My name is Joe, and I will be your caster tonight with Bill in production. Tonight, we've got the University of Northern Iowa Purple team versus University Alberta Rosa. This should be an interesting series tonight because UNI wants to keep a trend of winning, while UA Rosa is trying to turn things around and achieve their own win. The standings for each team currently are: UNI Purple is 1-1 this season, defeating SHSU Orange last week in a 3-1 series. Meanwhile, UA Rosa is struggling a little bit more this season with a 0-2 record, losing last week 1-3 against Esports LSU. Tonight, UNI Purple members are potentially going to be Brookbear 3, Mako Remix, Matahuski, Mr. Sir Claps, Roadkill 223, and Unlasting. And for UA Rosa, we're looking at potentially David, Etha, Fairy GF, Good Names, Helios, Trixie, and Vesper. Tonight we should have some pretty interesting games. When we get to those games, we can talk about what maps are potentially going to be picked. But for the first game, it is going to be on Control, and we have the choice of Busan, Oasis, Antarctic Peninsula, and Ilios. Also for the series tonight, we are continuing the player versus rule set where there's an interesting hero ban process. A little bit more on that later. But we do want to take a second and promote Northern Iowa Knockout 3, a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament hosted at the University of Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa Knockout is on October 25th at noon. Join us in Mocker Union when players come together and take part in a variety of modes, brackets, and tournaments at this annual event. Whether you're a more competitive player or a more relaxed player, there will be games for you. Competitive players who proceed farther in the tournaments can look forward to a cash prize, with the top 8 players receiving a payout, and more relaxed players can look forward to friendly matches throughout the day. Players are encouraged to bring their own controllers, and players who bring extra equipment, like their own consoles, adapters, cords, etc., will receive a reduced entry fee. Players who bring friends from outside the Midwest and players who carpool can also receive reduced entry fees. Additionally, this event will be live streamed with casters. Now, I'm not going to be there, but Hunter, who normally casts for Overwatch, is going to be there. And this is a great way for friends and family to support and virtually cheer for players. The main stream with commentary will be hosted on this Twitch channel, twitch.tv/UNI_Panther_esports, and some additional streams for recording will occur on other channels. Again, this event is for everyone and all players, all skill levels, both friendly and competitive. Bring your friends or whoever you want to come. All are welcome. Please visit start.gg/tournament/northern-iowa-knockout-3/details for more information regarding parking, pricing, and scheduling. Registration is open now. Please note that registration for certain modes ends 3 days prior to the tournament, so make sure to check in advance. We can't wait to see you there on October 25th at noon. Additionally, if you guys want to support Panther Esports by wearing some merch, you could go ahead and type !merch or visit our merch link at guardianproline.com. /collection/northern-iowa-panther-esports. There's t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, all that good stuff there. So if you guys want to rep Panther Esports, please go and check that out. Otherwise, just drop a follow or put Go Cats in the chat or go UA Rosa if you guys from UA Rosa are watching. Otherwise, going into this first game here, I want to take a second and talk really quickly about the hero bans. So both the hero bans apply to both rosters in a game, and an individual hero can only be banned once by each roster in a match. So that means a hero can be banned twice overall in a match, once by each roster. And an individual role cannot be completely banned twice in a game. Hero bans will occur for each game in a series and will occur after the map banning and selection process. I don't think we ban in this league. I think we just pick. So again, the maps that we're going to be seeing here for control first are Busan, Oasis, Antarctic Peninsula, and Ilios. Of these choices, I gotta go with Ilios just because it is my favorite as a Lucio player. You got the well and then one map that is a ton of fun to boot people in, and for the lighthouse map, you have that entire outside of the point to try to boot people off. It's good for Lucio, it's good for Brigitte, it's good for all kinds of tanks that can move people. So hopefully we see Ilios. We do have Busan, and Oasis, and our Antarctic Peninsula in there. I don't really mind Busan and Oasis. They are equally as fun in my head. But I really hope that nobody picks Antarctic Peninsula because I really don't like that map. But of course, I am biased. I don't play on a team. I don't play in this team tournament setting. And that's something we got to keep in mind tonight as we make our calls here in the booth and comment on the game. We're not in the game. We are not making the choices that the players are making. And, we get to sit up here in our tower and just yap about things. So we're going to try to keep it civil and whatnot. But we should be underway here soon. It looks like both teams are just making sure everything is ready and that they are cool with production. So if you guys, again, from UA are joining us, welcome. You are more than welcome here to cheer on your team. Just keep things civil. Otherwise, I'm pretty excited for this match. Now, we do know so far in this season, I mentioned earlier, UNI is 1-1, one win and one loss. And UA Rosa is unfortunately 0-2. So you would think that UA Rosa is pretty ravenous for a win this week, folks. So hopefully we do get some spicy games. I think you and I are going to be looking to continue that winning trend, as I was saying. Starting off the season with the loss sucks, but they brought it back last week and they looked pretty dominating last week. But we'll have to see how it goes this week. As far as patch notes and meta goes for Overwatch, I don't think that there has been a major balance patch since the start of the season. And I don't know if they changed too much. I know you guys haven't played in a while and had played at some point when Overwatch 2 was out. I think last season, Roadhog got reverted back, lost his trap, and is back to the original Roadhog. If you guys haven't played in a while, there's a whole new perk system in the game. Whereas the game progresses, you'll get, I'll say, points that you can allocate into specific perks that can influence how you play and influences the trajectory of the match. I think it makes things a lot more interesting in terms of counter picking. Also, the bans, the hero bans, is something new that was adopted in just regular solo queue Overwatch, but has also been adopted by a lot of these leagues. The way the hero bans work for player versus honestly confuses me a little bit, so I don't feel super comfortable speculating on that. But it is, who gets to choose the first ban is decided by a coin flip, and I think the teams take turns choosing the maps in between games. So right now it looks like they're hovering Oasis. We'll see if that is actually going to be the map that's chosen. But for teams right now, we're looking at for players that are actually playing and are not benched this game. Totoro for UNI Purple, excuse me. It's going to be Totoro on Lasting, Roadkill, Mako, and Mr. Sir Claps. And for UA Rosa, it's going to be David, Fairy. I'm assuming GF is girlfriend, so I'm just going to call them Fairy, Alucard, Trixie, and Vesper. So I don't know what anybody on UA Rosa plays, but we see a lot of similar picks each week from UNI Purple. We see a lot of Cassidy, Genji. We see some Lucio sometimes. We see Kiriko a lot from Mr. Sir Claps. We know Nate's Kiriko is pretty deadly. And for tanks, we see a lot of Ramatra. And, I cannot think of the other tank that we play all the time, but I'm sure we'll see it in this game. Last week we saw some interesting tank picks from Who did we play last week? Oh yeah, we saw some interesting tank picks from SHSU Orange last week, including a ball that gave UNI a little bit of a hard time. So we did see the Sombra pick come out from UNI, which we do not see very often, and it did help alleviate some of the pressure and some of the space that the ball was making. But I think, oh yeah, and we've seen a lot of Freya in a lot of these games so far this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if both teams or one team picks a Freya. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Wuyong on the support. His ult is very good when you throw it on a Tracer, on a Genji, on really anybody who can get into the, or any DPS rather, because I guess you could put it on your tank, but we see it a lot on the Genji and the Tracer because they are so excellent at getting into the heart of a fight in the blink of an eye. You know, the Genji's got his dash, the Tracers can just double or triple blink into a fight with the Wuyong ult, and if they time it correctly, it is a pretty much unavoidable giant circles of CC that affects everybody. So I wonder if we'll see that tonight. I won't be surprised, but it seems like UA Rosa are going to go ahead and ban Freya, and we are just waiting on UNI Purple's ban. And once that happens, we're going to do a little ready check for both teams, and then we'll get this first map underway. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Oasis, because I feel like they would have changed it at this point. Again, if you guys want to support UNI Panthers, put a Go Cats in the chat. I am right now. Drop a follow. Cheer on your favorite team, because it should be pretty fun tonight. I apologize for the delay. Usually we are a little bit quicker with the beginning of the match. This week it's looking like we're a little bit late. It's okay. You just have to hear me talk for a little bit. Looks like you and I are going to go ahead and ban Hazard. So the map is going to be Oasis for game 1, and the bans are going to be Freya and Hazard. So no Freya, no Hazard this game. I think with the way hero bans work, they can play Freya or Hazard later on in the series, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so just stay tuned and we'll see what happens after this game. Well, hopefully we'll get this started here pretty soon. I'm going to take a drink of water. Hang on. Okay, there we go. They're asking if production is ready, and we certainly are. I am super excited to cast this game. UNI Purple never disappoints, and honestly, the teams that they play against never disappoint either. So definitely interested to see how this match pans out. I want to see. Okay, I'm a UNI alum, so you know I gotta be a little bit biased. I gotta say I hope UNI Purple wins, but I'm just looking for a fun match to cast, because it is never fun to play a one-sided match, but it is also not fun to cast a one-sided match. Here we go. We are underway on game 1, Oasis. Now in Oasis, it's a pretty, it's gonna sound weird to say, but I think it's a pretty standard map, especially in terms of Overwatch. There's a couple different routes that both teams can take to get to point. There's plenty of cover, hard cover that both teams can use. Not a ton of long sight lines that might benefit someone like a Widowmaker, but you know, those other snipers that can. Uh-oh. We are back to the lobby for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, okay. So we are using a. If you guys have played custom games in Overwatch, you have to use a lobby code, or not a lobby code, like a game mode code that will populate your custom game with rules for you. And it seems like the code was a little bit messed up, and had some weird HP values, so we are going to be loading back into game really quick. A little bit of an oopsie, but it should be totally fine. Anyways, I was saying on Busan, I don't really think any of the 3 maps Oasis, excuse me, because that's the map they're playing. I don't really think that any of the 3 maps in that control point map pool for Oasis have really crazy sniper line of sights. I think it's a lot more suited to something like a Cassidy, a Tracer, a Genji in terms of DPS. And I think picks like Lucio, Kiriko, if there's some dive, maybe Brigitte, maybe a Juno. We've seen a lot of Juno. I think all of those support picks would be really good. And then for tanks, uh, outside of the weird one tricky tanks like Doomfist or the Ball, I feel like a lot of different tanks could work. I actually don't know what the best tank would be for Oasis. I feel like Oris is pretty good. I feel like a shield tank is okay. And I feel like dive can work out too. I think it kind of depends on the rest of the team composition as far as the tanks go for Oasis. But we'll have to just see what each team picks, whether they're going to pick something more meta or something that they feel a little bit more comfortable with. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I apologize for the delay, guys. The lobby code, or the game mode code, I should say, for the lobby was a little bit messed up, so we are going to take a second and hopefully get this worked out. But I don't know. Bill, do you know what's going on? Awesome. So we're just kind of hanging out here, just kind of waiting. Yeah, make sure to follow. Make sure to check out our other streams. We stream all the time. I think we stream most evenings of the week. I know we stream Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays for League of Legends, Rocket League, and Overwatch, respectively. And I'm pretty sure that we have other streams on other days of the week that I don't remember off the top of my head. We've got all kinds of games, like so obviously Overwatch, Rocket League, and League of Legends, but there's also teams for Counter-Strike, for Valorant, for Rainbow Six. We're trying to get a Deadlock team, so if you guys play Deadlock and you're a UNI student, definitely hit up Panther Esports. Deadlock is awesome. I'd love to cast that if we ever get a team for that. But I don't know. Deadlock is still pretty early on in development, so it's a little bit of a pipe dream by me. Okay, so I guess the problem right now is that we are having some issues hosting the game, but hopefully we're ironing them out soon so that you guys can have an entertaining experience and not just me yapping about stuff. Okay, I see the R in the chat. Both teams have typed R. Hopefully, we are going to get this bad boy underway. Everybody's ready. Let's go. Awesome, awesome. We're starting. Hopefully we don't go back to the lobby. Hopefully we stay in. Interestingly enough, last time we loaded in, it was daytime, but this time it is going to be nighttime Oasis for whatever reason. Hopefully that is not something that causes everybody to go back at the lobby again. I don't really think that the differences in nighttime and daytime on these maps are that substantial. It looks like everybody's loaded in, and oh my goodness. So the custom game settings are still messed up. We are trying to get it correct.
Welcome to Oasis.
And it's daytime again. Oh, awesome. I don't know what is going on with this game. Okay, it seems like everything is good now. hopefully things are okie dokie and we can get underway. Again, I apologize for the delay. But here we are on Oasis. Now, I don't remember the exact names of the 3 Oasis maps, so I'm just going to call this one the inside one. I think it's like library or something. But this is classic Overwatch 1 map. Anybody who's played Overwatch 1 will recognize this map. It gets played quite a bit. All kinds of picks are good on this map because you have these high ceilings and weird angles. Pharah becomes a good pick on this map. We do see Unlasting hovering the Pharah right now. Right now we see UNI hovering. We don't know if they're going to go this lineup, but I think they are. UNI are going to go Cassidy, Pharah, Orisa, Wuyong, Juno, and then it looks like UA Rosa is going to go Wuyong, Kiriko, Genji, Sojourn, and Diva. So straight away, we're going to see Unlasting on the Pharah, getting that high, I was going to say high ground, but they're just kind of flying up there, getting that off angle, making it more difficult for UA Rosa to take one member out, but UA Rosa are going to go and actually opt for the high ground over here. It's a little bit risky against the Orisa. If Roadkill gets a bug up his pants and wants to go try to run them off the edge and get an environmental kill, he can. But right now everybody's just kind of fighting, trading, keeping everybody alive, looking for an entrance onto the point. So there it is. Unlasting finds a great pick on the Fairy Girlfriend on the support. It's going to be a 5v4 in favor of UNI. They're going to press the advantage here as Totoro with the 1v1 versus Alucard does end up losing it, but Alucard is 1 HP on Genji. He's got to get out of there and find some healing, which he does. Right now, UNI and UA Rosa still fighting over first cap of the point. Nobody's managed to take it. UNI almost getting get capped, but looks like UA Rosa don't want to let them. Tanks fighting it out, step up on Alucard, finding a pick. Vesper finding a pick. Gonna be 3 members of UNI left here for their attack. That's not enough to beat the 5 members of UA Rosa. So they fall back. First hit goes over to UA Rosa as UNI fighting outside the spawn doors right now. Trying to get their ults built up. Pretty much everybody in the game is between 60 to 75% built up on their ults. Fairy Girlfriend does have 80% on that Kiriko ult. The Kitsune Rush could make a difference in terms of defending this point here, but UNI are split 3-2 right now at this doorway, making things a little bit more difficult as 2 members get pushed back by Alucard. He's going to dash in, find a pick on Totoro, and meanwhile Trixie is going to find a headshot, charge shot on Roadkill. That Sojourn is pretty tough to deal with. Against an Orisa, you are just a big bullet sponge, so you are constantly giving charge to the Sojourn's I'll take gun. I don't know what its official name is, but Roadkill's going to recognize this. Do the hot swap to Zarya. We got the Sojourn ultimate coming out and the Rocket Barrage from Unlasting, but it looks like it got no value as 2 members of UNI go down. There's still 4 more ults up for UA Rosa. UNI had to use 1 ult there, and unfortunately Roadkill has only 26% ult charge because of that swap not too long ago. Totoro's going to pull out the Reaper. I did not cast that, but we do see that coming out. UNI, the window of opportunity is closing as Totoro is going to be stepping in. David's going to be getting out. Here comes the Wuyong ult on himself. You don't see that all the time. It gets no value probably because it was on himself, but they do push UNI back and Trixie gets a pick, so maybe that is some value. UNI down 4-5 right now. They have to look for a touch here as UA Rosa do have 90% on the point. Roadkill's stepping up, trying to push them back, but the blade from Alucard in UNI's backline. Totoro takes him down. Here comes Unlasting, dashing into the point, taking a lot of damage, ends up going down. Meanwhile, Mako gets taken out by Trixie's, the Sojourn AoE thing, and Roadkill also is going to go down. Right now it's 2 members of UNI, 1 member left fighting for their life. Totoro gonna be trying to swift step out, and that's Kiriko's ability. I'm gonna be trying to I can't remember what.
Score 0-1.
I can't remember what Reaper's. I think it's Shadow Step. Anyways, round 1 of game 1 gonna be going over. to University of Alberta, Rosa. You and I are going to have to lock it in a little bit here, because if they lose this next point, game 1 goes over to UA Rosa. So you and I going to be going back to the drawing board a little bit here, picking up the Genji, keeping the Zarya. It looks like so far UA Rosa is going to change nothing. I don't think that they did need to change anything. They were doing a pretty good job. Alucard going crazy on the Genji. Trixie going crazy on the Sojourn. Everybody's doing a great job on UA Rosa. I think UNI just got pushed back a little bit too far and had some swaps happen that just didn't work out for them in time. But we're going to be fighting over this point here. UA Rosa are spread out 3-2 right now. D.Va going to be going up right now. Their entire team is spread out. And on Lasting, notices this, gets the reflect kill on Fairy Girlfriend, takes him out. But Totoro dies to Trixie. So right now it's 4-4 on the point. But UA Rosa is missing a support, which could be pretty devastating. I don't know if it matters so much, though, because the D.Va is so mobile. She is just able to get everywhere, as on Lasting gets attacked by the D.Va and has to get out. Currently point ticked over to UA Rosa. Up to 7%. UNI just doing their best to not die, get some poke, get some ult charge. UNI's ult charge is looking a little bit better than UA Rosa's for the most part. Totoro's got to get his Death Blossom ready. On Lasting, finding a pick on Trixie. Totoro getting down to 1, but ends up going down. Mr. Sir Claps trying to do some poke. Vesper gets that pick on Totoro, but right now on Lasting is in the 1v1 of a lifetime. Gets the pick on Fairy Girlfriend. When are you gonna learn that his deflects are crazy? That's two times so far this match. On Lasting, finding another pick, cleaning up members of UA Rosa. Oh my gosh, Trixie finding a pick, or sorry, Roadkill finding a pick on Trixie. UNI has got the point ticked up to 20%. Things are looking good for them as they push members of UA Rosa back to their spawn doors, and they're going to hold this choke here as Mr. Sir Claps has the Kitsune Rush ready for the defense. Bavid is almost got the Wu Yang ult ready for the offensive. So I'm thinking what's going to happen here is Bavid's going to send the ult onto maybe Alucard's Genji, and he's going to get in there, but we're going to see the Kitsune Rush from Mr. Sir Claps. Here comes the Genji Blade from Alucard, but Bavid is dead! You will have no value without the ult as he's chasing and trying to swing his blade. Does not find a pick, but a bunch of trades happen. There's only 2 members left of UA Rosa as UNI tick up to 50%, only missing on Lasting. UNI got to be careful here as many ults for UA Rosa are coming up and they surely know it, and they are missing 2 ults of their own. So Totoro's going to be hiding, waiting for the flank. Here comes the overclock from Sojourn. Giant grab from Roadkill, finding massive value as on Lasting gets another deflect kill, and Totoro picks up 2. UNI going to be chasing back to the spawn doors again in this round 2 of game 1. UNI are looking pretty strong right now, especially because that Wu Yang ult got a little bit wasted. And there is no overclock from Trixie, so it's going to have to be a big D.Va bomb. It's going to have to be a big blade from Alucard and a big Kitsune Rush from Fairy Girlfriend right now. Bavid finding the pick on Totoro. Here comes a Kitsune Rush. We'll see if Genji blades in here. Doing a little bit of movement tech, trying to get up on top, get the high ground. Meanwhile, Trixie unloading into UNI, unlasting. Finds a pick to trade with the Vesper pick onto Mako. It'll be 4v4 on point, 3v4, 2v4 as Roadkill and Unlasting go down, and Mr. Sir Claps as well. With the point at 99%, UA Rosa are able to cap. It looks like Genji is going to go back and taxi the Kiriko. Well played. I like that. Vesper hanging on to this D.Va bomb for a majority of the round here. I'm curious to see what they think, what they want to do with it. If they're going to use it to save themselves, they probably will. Or if they're going to go for something crazy. They don't really have the CC to do something too crazy, so I don't know. Roadkill trying to make space and make members of UA Rosa look at him, but it's not going to be quite enough. Here comes a Kitsune Rush from Mr. Sir Claps and a D.Va bomb to hopefully stop the push from UNI. It worked a little bit. Here comes a blade from Alucard. looking for a pick on Lasting, doesn't find it. Looks for Mr. Sir Claps, but a huge Suzu to save himself. Meanwhile, Vesper taking out Totoro during the Death Blossom. Mako making a trade. Alucard making a trade. Mako making another trade. Alucard taking out Mako. Unlasting, blading right now, trying to clean things up. Oh, dashes into the Wuyong ult from David. Super unfortunate, but huge value from Roadkill on the Graviton Surge. Right now, 1v1 between Roadkill and Alucard for the round 2. Alucard gonna be running off. They've got time to back up and live and make a touch. Here comes an overclock from Trixie. Not finding a ton of value as UNI are hiding. Totoro, DMX, Vesper. Overtime is ticking over. It's anybody's game right now. UNI get the cap. They just got to keep UA off the point. Oh my gosh. Oh, and almost a touch from Trixie, but it's too late. And all members of UA Rosa are down as UNI secure round 2 of game 1. Really great job by UNI there. Also a good job by UA Rosa, almost coming back at the very end and making sure that UNI were not able to cap that, but UNI did end up on top, even with the Genji Blade and dashing into the Wuyong ult. It was a little bit unfortunate timing by Unlasting and UNI, but it worked out because Roadkill had 2 fat grabs that game, so that's super duper good. Going into this last one, this is, in my opinion, the classic Oasis map that I think of when I think of Oasis. Big circular room in the middle. Looks like UNI are going to run with the same comp. They had Juno for a sec, but they're going to go with Kiriko, so now it's the same comp. And UA Rosa are also going to run the exact same comp, so pretty good comps by both teams. They both feel confident. They both should. We're seeing a lot of good performance by everybody so far tonight. Totoro getting obliterated by Vesper and Sojourn. Trixie. Right now, David getting down to 1 HP. Vesper trying to make some space. Sees a low HP Roadkill with no bubble. Here comes the Diva D-Mech from Unlasting. Right now, Unlasting trying to find a pick on Sojourn, but the Wuyong heal is too much. Now looking at 4 members of UA Rosa, and does get blown up by David. Meanwhile, Roadkill finding a pick on Fairy Girlfriend, taking out that Kiriko, and finding the Diva Vesper. Right now, UNI have the upper hand as 3 members of UA Rosa are not on the point. 4 members, and UNI are going to get the cap here. Ooh, and finding the David Wuyong pick on the end. That's super good because now UA Rosa are just a little bit more staggered, and they do have to wait a little bit longer for that support, which means a little bit more tick for UNI on this objective. Both Wuyongs kind of just having a poke battle around the corner. I like the Diva pick this game and the Zarya pick. The Diva pick helps stop a lot of the projectiles that we're seeing, and the Zarya pick has got to be soaking up some free damage from the Wuyong. So I like both tank picks this game, as both teams are just kind of staring at each other, building up. Oh, Roadkill instantly grabs when he gets it. Gets 2 picks, 3 picks for UNI. Huge value, 4 picks, and a team kill for UNI. Nice job at UNI Purple. As Totoro has a little celebration in the corner. I would too. That's awesome. Good little spray there. I like that. Right now, UNI have the Wuyong ult and the Kiriko ult ready to use, but UA Rosa still building up some ults. So you see their Kitsune Rush is ready. Totoro hiding right now. I don't think UA Rosa knows. Gonna be doing some decent damage on the Diva, forcing her out there. As UNI have a pretty commanding lead at this corner. We're gonna see a Kitsune Rush come from Mr. Sir Clabs. Mako gets taken out, but Totoro finds a pick on Alucard. It's 4v4, 4v3 in favor of UNI. Mr. Sir Clabs, Nate getting that headshot. Nate getting a double kill on the Trixie. Roadkill finding a pick on David with Nate. As Mr. Sir Claps is chasing this Diva away. He's gonna go ahead and get out of there. Points ticking up to 88% for UNI. UA Rosa, if you want to do something, now is the time. You don't have any more time to waste. This is the only shot you've got at recapping this point. You're gonna see the Kitsune Rush try to come out there, but Fairy Girlfriend does get taken out before they're able to use it. Totoro with that headshot. Roadkill finding 2 picks onto UA Rosa. Where's that guy going? Okay, here comes a blade from Alucard. Oh, went into the Wuyong ult. Not going to be able to find the value, and he gets exploded by Mako. And game 1 goes over to UNI Purple. Really good job by both teams that game. But UNI did come out on top. I like the picks by UNI to kind of deal with this Sojourn. It seems right after the first round, they're like, okay, this Sojourn is a problem. Let's get the Zarya. I like that. Zarya helped a lot. Meanwhile, I really like the Diva pick. I like the tank picks by both teams. So I wonder right now if we're going to see any benches of players, if we're going to see any rotations of roles, of what is going to happen. In the meantime, if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure to follow and put a Go Cats in the chat. If you want to get some Panther merch and rep your favorite team, go ahead and click the merch button or type exclamation point merch. Take it to guardianproline.com/collection/northern-io-panther-esports. That's a great way to support us by having some of our rep. As you guys know, esports is still a little bit newer and a little bit less popular than more mainstream sports, so any kind of support that way goes a long way. If you guys are Super Smash Bros. Players or just want to have a good time, we'd like to promote Northern Iowa Knockout 3, a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament hosted at the University of Northern Iowa. Join us in Mocker Union on October 25th at noon when players come together and take part in a variety of modes, brackets, and tournaments at this annual event. And whether you're a more competitive player or a more relaxed player, there will be games for you. And competitive players who proceed further in the tournaments can look forward to a cash prize. Additionally, this event will be live streamed with casters on this Twitch channel, twitch.tv/UNI_Panther_esports. And again, this event is for everyone, so please visit start.gg/tournament/northern-iowa-knockout-3/details for more information regarding parking, pricing, and scheduling. Registration is open now. Please note that registration for certain modes ends 3 days prior to the tournament, so make sure to check in advance. We can't wait to see you there on October 25th. I should say, I think we have some very good players that will be there. I can't speak to position on like a leaderboard or something, but I want to say that some people there are up there, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a whole bunch of people there. So definitely will be a game for you. And also the appeal of a cash prize is pretty tantalizing, so make sure you sign up and check it out. Going into game 2 here, we're going to be looking at hybrid, and for hybrid the maps are Numbani, Kings Row, Midtown, and Hollywood. Of the 4, I gotta say, I like me some Kings Row. Classic Overwatch 1 map. I can't think of Overwatch without thinking of Kings Row, to be honest. A lot of good pick potentials can be picked on that map that can't be picked on other maps like snipers, like Reinhardt's. The Reinhardt battles on Kings Row are always legendary. So yeah, I hope it's Kings Row. Right now we are hovering Kings Row. Looks like UA Rosa do pick the Kings Row. W from UA Rosa. Thanks, guys. I love Kings Row. So right now we are just figuring out what exactly the rules are, because it seems like both teams are a little confused, but I think it's going to be Kings Row, and we're going to be waiting a minute here. Hopefully not another 20 minutes for both teams to ban their characters and get the game 2 underway. I mentioned some snipers on Kings Row can be good. I mentioned Reinhardt can be good. I think a lot of the same supports that we've been seeing are going to be good, like Kiriko, like Juno. Other supports can be flexed onto this map too. Like, I don't think that Zenyatta's bad on this map. I think Ana's good on this map. Last week we had this map and the other team banned Ana, which I thought was interesting. Or UNI banned Ana, I can't remember. But we will see what goes on here. It seems both teams are confused. So I will follow the trend of confusion. I'm going to try to discern what the hero bans mean. And I think it just is per game. I don't think it's like Fearless Draft where it's banned the whole series. If you guys know what Fearless is. And it so far doesn't seem like either team is swapping out any players. I think everyone's going to be keeping the same rosters, which is fine. Uh, I don't really care who plays. I just hope everybody has a good time, and it's an entertaining game. I think that first game was pretty entertaining. It wasn't just a 2-0 stomp. UNI did come back with those 2 wins, and you like to see it. That's something to remember and keep in mind in these games is as the night goes on, as the games progress, and as the teams get more wins and losses, it is tiring, especially as a player. Playing any game for a while is relatively tiring. But when you're playing in this kind of setting where you're constantly communicating, constantly working together, as well as trying to play to the best of your ability, and as well as counting in I'll say the emotional factor with you really want to win because it's not just some solo queue game. You're in a tournament, a league. Uh, it can be really exhausting. So if we see a game 4 or a 5, we might see some of those things later, but it's weird. I don't know. Right now, we're just discussing the rules, discussing any subs. We will see how it goes. We saw a lot of good stuff from a lot of different players that game. That first game, I've been singing my praises for both DPS members of UA Rosa, Alucard, and I think the other one was Trixie, popping off on the Genji and the Sojourn. But you got to remember, Unlasting's Genji is pretty notorious. We saw last game Unlasting get 2 reflects on UA Rosa's Kiriko in the same round. You don't mess with Unlasting's Genji. You know way better, or I know way better than to do that. And similarly, I do not mess around in a 1v1 with Mr. Sir Claps's Kiriko. That is some deadly stuff. I think what is their name? Let me look. Vesper was pumping on the Diva last game. I think they got a ton of value just making space, making sure they don't die, using the defense matrix. And Roadkill also was doing a lot of work as Zarya that game. Now, granted, Roadkill, I'd say neither tank had nearly as much flash as the DPS, but Roadkill did have some pretty crazy grabs that game that I would consider a little bit flashy. So it looks like I was wrong about the subs. We are going to sub Mako out for Brook Bear this game. So wonder if we'll see any different support. Bill, did they ban heroes yet? I don't know if they banned heroes yet. Oh, we did. Okay, UNI have banned Mauga away from UA Rosa. I can't lie. I definitely forgot Mauga was in the game, despite not loving playing against him. He's pretty fun to play, honestly. I mean, it's pretty dumb, but like when he says he's got a gun in each hand and a smile on his face, I can't help but smile. I have a good time when I play Mauga, but we'll see. Get a drink of water here. And right now, we are just waiting again. Yeah. Hope we're all having a good night tonight. Again, if you guys like Panther Esports, we stream all kinds of games pretty much every day of the week. They are taking a rather long time today. I can't lie. It's a little rough. Normally, the players in the games on the other streams don't take so long, and everybody tries to get their games underway relatively quickly because a lot of the times, I know for UNI Purple, there's a lot of players that do use the lounge in the Mocker Union, which does close. So I don't know. We'll hopefully get underway soon. If you guys like our streams, check it out around 6 to 7:37 or 8 o'clock, pretty much all weekdays except for maybe Fridays. I don't know which day Rocket League streams. I think that's on Fridays or Tuesdays. I can't remember. Overwatch is Wednesdays and League of Legends is Mondays. And I think UA Rosa are going to ban Wuyong. And the R's come out. We are ready. Starting the game. Hopefully, we don't get sent back to lobby again.
Now entering.
And hopefully everything is right. So King's Row, if you guys have played it, you know it is a series of long corridors with some difficult choke points. Typically this map boils down to the final choke point corner area, which we're zooming around near, and the initial choke point onto the capture point where the like bridge, it's not a bridge, but there's like a wall there.
Ready for battle.
I think I'm getting sick.
Your spikes look just
My throat is getting scratchy in a way that it doesn't normally get scratchy this soon into streams.
What are you sending me now?
Oh. Are we starting the game? More technical issues. Sorry, guys. See what the teams are going to roll out with for picks so far. So I did mention UNI Purple subbed out Mako for Brookbear 3. I don't know. I don't think any, it doesn't look like anybody on UA Rosa got subbed out. Typically, teams don't hold straight up at the wall area choke point. They hold back a little bit where the capture point itself is, that you can play a little bit safer there and worry a little bit less about the Widowmaker or other sniper in the spawn doors. So right now we've got UNI Purple on the defense to begin with. They're going to roll out unless anybody swaps here. Looks like Roadkill can't decide, but for everybody else it's going to be Totoro on the Freya, now unbanned. So I guess that's how the bans work. Unlasting on the Junkrat, I like that. Brookbear on the Ana, I like that. Kiriko, Mr. Sir Claps, pretty standard Nate pick. And I think Roadkill's thinking about Ramatra. He keeps hovering him. Meanwhile, on the side of UA Rosa, unless they change anything, I think it's going to be David with the Kiriko. No Mako because he's banned this game. Or, excuse me, no, Mako is not. He's benched this game. I'm saying no Wuyong because he's banned this game. Fairy Girlfriend on the Ana. Alucard Genji again. Trixie with the Freya. And Vesper on the Hazard. Oh my god.
Now entering King's Row.
So we do not. Hopefully it's good this time. I don't know. It's getting a little exhausting having to see this over and over again. So sorry, guys. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties again. Hopefully we get it solved here and get the rest of the series underway. Most of our other streams aren't like this, although I should say, on Monday when everything was being DDoSed, Riot Games was also being DDoSed, so our league stream on Monday got cut a bit short. So I don't know if they made up that game. If it's tomorrow night, we might be streaming it. I don't know, but hopefully it's just good this time.
Now entering King's Row.
I think Totoro is the host. So if you guys know Totoro, I don't know. Don't be mean. Maybe say what the heck. Anyways, pretty funny. The question for stream is going to be dogs or cats, because that's what somebody said in the chat. I think Matahuski said that. I am a dogs kind of guy. To be more specific, I am a big dogs kind of guy. I love me a big dog. Not a super fan of the small dogs. Custom game settings updated. Will update next match. Still appearing in the side. We're gonna play sometime tonight. I don't know when it's gonna be. It's gonna be awesome when we do. Hopefully it's right now. Lasting, still in that Junkrat. I'm excited. I do love me some Junkrat. He was my first main even before Lucio. Back when his bombs did damage to himself. Gonna put down his trap there. I always put mine there too. Doesn't look like he's gonna conk mine that trap, which I do that there. He's gonna take a load off. Lasting. Kind of tired tonight. I would be tired after all the map changes over and over again too. Okay, game appears to be starting. Trixie gonna be on that Widowmaker, so UNI have to be careful. Right now, Unlasting, trying to do some damage. Reset his trap in that room. Meanwhile, Roadkill is on this Ramatra. We've seen Roadkill's Ramatra many times in the past. We know he can do a very good job. But right now, he's having to deal with Freya. Trixie doing some decent damage to UNI, sticking different members with those crossbow shots, doing crazy damage. Right now, both teams having an Ana is going to be something tricky to deal with. Ana Kiriko on both teams, so we're going to see a lot of play around the cooldowns of the Suzu and the purple poison grenade, but UA Rosa going to find two members of UNI right off the bat. Going to be making capping this first point a little bit easier. Didn't really seem, yeah, I was about to say, like UNI was finding too much value from the Junkrat Unlasting. So he's going to go ahead and swap over to the Sojourn here. I like that pick against the I always want to call Hazard Mayhem. Maybe it's because he causes mayhem. I don't know, but he's a big target. And Roadkill also plays a lot of Hazard, and we see him swap to the Hazard, so I like that. We're going to see the Freya ult come out. Gonna have two members of UNI go down. Trixie is going to go down. Excuse me as well. 3 members of UNI down. Oh, Roadkill, 4 members of UNI down. And only 1 member of UA Rosa. As UA Rosa are pushing through the streets. Now, I want to point out, I think UA Rosa are misplaying a little bit here, as only Alucard is pushing ahead of the cart here. Now, you see literally every other team in every other league push, like have 1 guy on the cart and push as many as you can, or 2 guys on the cart and just make space. And because UA Rosa aren't doing that, UNI are going to be able to push up to this choke here. And guys, I'm going to predict that UNI are going to burn at least a little bit of time and maybe even push them completely off and burn a lot of time, as Trixie is going to go on this off angle here. I think that's a good call for the situation, as both Hazards stare at each other. We're going to see the Kitsune rush from Mr. Sir Claps come out. Roadkill trying to make some space. He is on fire right now. All members of UNI pushing UA Rosa off the cart, but nobody's found a pick yet. So things are going to get dicey here as we see the Nano Blade come out from Alucard. Going to be finding 1 pick, and then another pick with David's Kiriko on the Roadkill there. 2 members of UNI down, 3 down, 4 down. As Unlasting is the last man standing on that Sojourn. He does find the pick on Alucard, but it is too little too late. As UA Rosa are going to get this point pushed into this second checkpoint, or I guess it's the first checkpoint for the cart, but it's the second choke in my mind, really. With 5 minutes on the clock, they have a long time to push around this corner. Plenty of time for many fights. UNI do have to lock it in a little bit here, as they are kind of just letting UA Rosa run through them. We see Roadkill gonna pick up the Zarya. I think he's gonna stay on that. We're gonna see Unlasting with the overclock, finding a pick on Trixie. Meanwhile, Totoro finding a nice, crazy value, getting 2 picks with the Bola on UA Rosa, David and Vesper. Meanwhile, Alucard's gonna kill Roadkill, but Totoro trades it up and takes down Alucard. Gonna be giving UNI control of the payload for now. Clock's at 4 minutes and 25 seconds for a push here, so that was about 1 team fight in 40 seconds. And UA Rosa has a lot more time to work with. So UNI really got to do a good job of keeping the payload pushed back here. Hopefully not going to overtime. Nate with the deadly Kiriko, as always, finding a pick on the Trixie. Going to be slowing down their push. We've seen Trixie doing a ton of damage for UA Rosa so far this game. And it's going to be tough, as we do get a pause. Unfortunately, we are not having a flawless game game 2 tonight. That pause occurred right after Trixie got killed by Mr. Circlaps, so I don't really know what the problem could be. But if we have to restart this game, I'm gonna go a little bit feral. I'm just being honest. I'm assuming UA Rosa is talking amongst themselves right now because I don't see anything in the chat other than that pause request from Trixie. I guess I can comment on the fact that UA Rosa has Trixie's Bola Strike and David's Kitsune Rush ready to use. And the only ult UNI have right now is Brook Bear's Ana ultimate. The Nano. Mr. Circlaps, Nate's Kitsune Rush is coming up, but not yet. Unlasting is recovering from the last overclock that he used a second ago, so they're ready now. Did they say what the pause was for? Okay, game is starting. Wonder if there was some connection problems or game crashing problems. I don't know. Right now, everybody's just gonna be poking each other. UA Rosa gonna be looking to go in soon with the 2 ults they have. Here comes Trixie's Bola Strike. Not finding a ton of value, and the Kitsune Rush from David. Meanwhile, Brookbear is going to try to nano someone. Mr. Clap's going to be going down. Right now, we're looking at 4 members of UNI to 2 members of UA Rosa. Alucard down to 1 HP. I'm not really sure what happened in that fight, but it did appear that UNI came out quite a bit on top. Roadkill has got the Graviton Surge just about ready to pop here. We've seen so far tonight, Roadkill's been deadly with the grabs. And I think that trend is going to continue as he holds the high ground. I like that grab onto the hazard wall, keeping him up there. That's a huge pick for UNI. Taking out the tank immediately into the fight. It completely stuns the push potential for UA Rosa as Unlasting. Getting 2 picks with the tail end of that Kitsune Rush. As UNI have Unlasting's Overclock almost ready and Totoro's Bola Strike ready. Meanwhile, UA Rosa have the Nano Blade combo just about ready. The Blade is ready and the Nano will come up soon, but Unlasting is having none of anything as he takes out Trixie, making this push so much more difficult for UA Rosa as members trickle in. UNI are holding this choke up here, burning plenty of time, but UA Rosa still have 2.5 minutes left to cap here, which I think is plenty of time to get pretty far. Brookbear doing their best to keep Roadkill up. The Nano Blade coming in, finding Mr. Circlaps, finding Totoro, and finding Unlasting. And finally, Vesper takes out Brookbear and a team kill for UA Rosa. That's going to make UNI pretty sad here as Totoro swaps to the Venture. And Unlasting has the Overclock ready. Brookbear going to have the Nano. We have to get that up soon as UA Rosa are staring at a fully pushed payload, which is great if you want to try to get into overtime. But we're going to see an Overclock come out from Unlasting, not finding a ton of value. Roadkill and Alucard finding some picks. Roadkill finding another pick. 2 members of UA down. 2 members of UNI are also down. One's coming back. But UNI have the massive spawn advantage here as Brookbear getting into the action, into the face of Vesper, and Roadkill finishes him off. Meanwhile, Totoro going to be finding a pick on Fairy Girlfriend and looking for a little bit more on Trixie, but is going to be able to get out thanks to the bubble from Roadkill. Roadkill doing a great job tonight, holding this high ground up here, making sure that none shall pass. Roadkill's got his grab up. UA Rosa has not pushed the payload to the end, and they have less than a minute left. If they want to make something happen, guys, they have to do it right now. Here's going to be the grab, the same spot onto Vesper again. Not going to be able to find the pick this time, which is a little bit sad for UNI, but they have a Kitsune Rush and a Nano ready to use. So do UA Rosa. Here comes UA Rosa. Both teams Kitsune Rush straight into each other. Everybody's kind of split up right now. Ana out on her own, lonesome. Mr. Clap's going to be saving him, but not looking at the rest of their team. Vesper going to be finding the pick on Unlasting. Over in that room, meanwhile, Totoro holding this off angle, making sure nobody can touch the payload. 15 seconds left as two members of UA Rosa are holding the high ground above the payload. Totoro looking for this pick onto Bavid's Kiriko. That's huge if he finds it. There we go, there we go. Oh, the swift step out, but does find the pick. Tectonic thingy ready to use from, oh my god. Both teams doing their best to live right now. Both teams finding a lot of picks, but it looks like UA Rosa are finding more picks as Roadkill is fighting for his life. 1v4. Finding a pick on Fairy Girlfriend, but he does go down. And UA Rosa are going to get the cap in overtime. Yeah, they are. Super duper close fight for UNI. Things were looking really good until the last couple of seconds there. When David on the Kiriko swift stepped away from Totoro, or yeah, Totoro's oh my gosh, Earth person. Why can I not remember their name? Venture, thank you. Oh my god, I said it a minute ago. Totoro's Venture was not quite able to find the Kiriko fast enough, and they swift stepped out and also Suzu'd themselves, but I think they David Suzu'd a couple people on UA Rosa at the same time, and now David did end up going down, but I think it did contribute to some members of his team living a little bit longer and taking out some members of UNI. So it just goes to show how a fight can turn in the matter of like a literal second. So great job by both teams there. UNI ticked down the clock as much as they could, but UA Rosa were able to deliver the payload all the way in the end. Looks like UA Rosa on their defense is going to roll out with David on that Kiriko again, Fairy Girlfriend on the Ana again, Alucard, Trixie on their Genji, and Freya again, and Vesper on the Hazard again. Meanwhile, UNI are going to be looking at hovering, at least, a Totoro, Widowmaker, and Unlasting Genji, the classic. Roadkill, Zarya, Brook Bear, Ana, and Mr. Circlaps Mercy, but I suspect the Mercy pick may change after a Widow pick. I think they're damage boosting in the spawn. Widow looking for a pick onto UA Rosa, but UA Rosa suspect it and they are hiding. Looks like Totoro gonna look for that pick, just instantly swap. Same thing with Mr. Circlaps onto the Kiriko. So no Widowmaker Mercy. And Alucard doing his best over here, trying to do some DPS. Totoro also trying to do his best at DPS. Both Genjis jumping above the battlefield, throwing shurikens at each other. Everyone's poking, maybe looking for an opening here. Suzu from Mr. Circlaps saving Totoro from certain death. Fairy Girlfriend getting down to 1 HP. Both teams looking at each other. Roadkill is at pretty much maximum charge here. Yeah, there it is. That's a scary thing. Maximum charge Zarya is staring at you in the face. I think you get lasered here as UNI inch by inch taking ground. Not finding a pick, which is deadly as Roadkill goes down. Mr. Circlaps goes down, and that's what you gotta watch out for, guys. When you're pushing up and not finding a pick, if you lose one, you're gonna lose them all, because it's just so tough when you're like in between cover points around that statue. All members of UNI going to be taken out in one way or another, but not quite a team kill again for UA Rosa. Right now, UNI just have some ults nearly ready. The Kitsune Rush is ready. The Nano is almost ready. Blade almost ready. The Kitsune Rush for both teams coming out. Oops, yeah, I heard it twice, but they do actually have both teams coming out. That was weird. Unlasting, trapped in the corner here, trying to do his best to survive and do some damage. Roadkill in the front lines, trying to make space, almost finds the pick on the Kiriko, but she swift steps out. Oh, yeah, Unlasting does end up finding that pick on the Kiriko. Here comes the Blade, Nano Blade from Fairy Girlfriend and Alucard, finding 2 picks of UNI, 3 on UNI. Trixie finding a pick as well, as Roadkill is the last one standing with only 1 member of UA in the spawn. So UNI need to lock it in a little bit here, guys. They are letting UA run out so much time, and they have a Nano and a Blade ready to use. They've got the Grav ready to use. I wonder if we're going to see all 3 used, or just the Grav, or just the Nano Blade. I wouldn't imagine they dump all 3 at the same time. UNI are pretty good usually about ult economy and management. Here comes the Nano Blade from the sky. Gonna be going into the back rooms, narrowly narrowly avoiding the sleep for Fairy Girlfriend. Finding another pick, Totoro. Also finding a pick on Bavid. Unfortunately, Vesper finding a pick on Brookbear. But it's going to be 4 members of UNI on the point versus 2 members of UA Rosa trying to get back without staggering too bad. Alucard does end up staggering though. And UNI do lock it in and are able to get this point. Now we're going to see UNI do the classic thing that they always do. Push super far ahead and get a huge grab onto 2 members of UA Rosa. And oh my god, Totoro is going to find a 3rd pick with Unlasting. They're in a 4th pick as members of UA Rosa are going down left and right, and UNI are pushing up through the streets phase of Kings Row pretty flawlessly here. Look at this is UNI's bread and butter, pushing ahead of the cart, having 2 on, getting control of this choke point. Now UNI have pushed a little bit further in the past, but I think that they're not tonight, or at least right now, because UA Rosa is not really staggered anymore. All members were respawned, so if UNI pushed up there, it would be a 3v5. Pretty dangerous. Right now, UA Rosa do have the Bola Strike ready, and do not need to use it to kill Unlasting, but they are going to use it anyways. Finds not a ton of value because of the Zarya bubble. Roadkill trying to do some frontlining here. Here comes the overclock from Totoro, finding 1 pick onto Alucard, but does get taken down by Trixie. It is a 4v4 on point here. Mr. Clap's going to be using the Kitsune Rush to try to help buy some space. But meanwhile, the off angle from Vesper, everybody looks at him and he roots the entire team of UNI, and his whole team is looking from the other angle. And UNI get absolutely thrashed at that choke point there. That was a really good play by UA Rosa. Having Vesper stand off to the left and the rest of the members stand off to the right. Everybody on UNI were staring at Vesper as he ulted them and held them in place for his team. Great play by Vesper. UNI gonna be regrouped here in this streets phase. Don't have an ult straight away to work with and have to play into 2-3 ults ready for UA Rosa. It's gonna be a tall task for them to come out on top here. Here comes a Kitsune Rush from David and a Bola Strike from Alucard. They do find Unlasting and catch him out. Vesper getting 2 picks onto UNI, 3 picks onto UNI. Vesper popping off this game on the hazard as Trixie cleans it up for a team kill. 1 minute left on the clock. UNI have to lock it in. They have to get on this cart. They don't have enough time to have more than 1 fight here. They have to win this fight. And UA Rosa know this, so they're going to hold super far up, try to burn as much time as they can, as Vesper finding a pick on Unlasting. Unlasting having a hard time these last couple of minutes, trying to find a way to be useful. But I'm sure that he'll find a way, as there's 30 seconds remaining, and UNI are trying to flush this guy out of the high ground, because they know he's just going to be quite a pain in the butt, literally, coming from behind. The Vesper almost has his ult ready. Here comes the Blade, Nano Blade from Fairy Girlfriend and Alucard again. So far finding only Brookbear. Trixie finding Unlasting. 2 members of UNI down. Mr. Sir Claps picking up 2 on UA Rosa. Roadkill going to be going down. But we know Mr. Sir Claps is crazy with it. Nate trying to find an angle to touch here with the Genji. Oh, wait a minute. I had that backwards. You and I are on the cart with Totoro, and there was the Genji and Bavid's Kiriko left. Sorry guys, I misread the colors there. Unlasting finding a huge pick here. 2 huge picks with the Blade. Here comes the Bola Strike from Trixie, not finding value. Vesper getting a kill with the wall, but Totoro is going to pick up Trixie. Vesper going to be going down. Huge turnaround by UNI in the overtime. Going to be getting the point to the checkpoint. Roadkill coming out with the ball to touch there. Yeah, okay, so at the end of that streets phase, I messed up pretty bad. It was Alucard and Bavid hiding, not Mr. Sir Claps and Unlasting hiding. Totoro was on the cart, I think with Mr. Sir Claps clutching it up in that 2v2 scenario to get UNI where they are right now. With 1 minute left on the clock, UNI have to push through this choke point. They cannot die. If they die, they lose. So all members of UNI right now are doing their best to stay alive as David hits up the Kitsune Rush, UNI are going to get pushed back a little bit. Roadkill going down. That's a huge pick for UA Rosa, but Vesper gets taken out. Unlasting finding a pick on David. UNI super duper have the upper hand here as both pinks are down, and 3 members of UA Rosa are down. This is UNI's chance to get to the checkpoint here. The end of the map. Alucard hiding here. Totoro knows, trying to find him. Alucard finding the pick on Totoro. Mr. Sir Claps trading that deadly Kiriko. Getting on there. Meanwhile, UA Rosa are trying to get to the point here, and they do. They find Brookbear out of position. The Hazard getting in there like swimwear. Meanwhile, UNI have 10 seconds left. They are trapped around this corner. They are down a member, and it is going to be tough as they try to touch here. Roadkill is ready in this corner. Here comes the Kitsune Rush from Mr. Sir Claps. UNI going to be trying to make some space with that. Alucard looking at Brookbear. That would be a huge pick if Ana goes down right now. Here comes the Bola Strike from Trixie. Genji, Alucard blading, but it's not going to be enough. Ooh, what's going on? Unlasting, ulting straight in Alucard's face. He doesn't care. Meanwhile, on the point, Mr. Sir Claps battling for his life, trying to doink enemies of UA Rosa, but one by one, the UNI Panthers fall. And game 2 goes to UA Rosa. That was a crazy game 2. Vesper was going hard, ham on the Hazard this game, constantly a pain in the butt for UNI. And this is what I was talking about earlier, guys. This play where they got, or UA Rosa got members of UNI to look at Vesper in one direction and have everybody else in the other direction for when Vesper uses the rain, making it rain ability from Hazard, is pretty deadly stuff. And unfortunately, Unlasting's Genji was not able to find its usual King's Row value towards the end of that game 1. Or sorry, not game 1. Oh my gosh, game 2. But since this is first to 3, we are going to be going into game 3 here, and potentially a game 4 or a game 5. For game 3, pull up the rules. I'm running out of water because I keep having to drink my water in between rounds because of the technical difficulties. Okay, game 3 is going to be Flashpoint, so going to be going a lot quicker than games 1 and 2, hopefully. Our choices for Flashpoint are New Junk City and Servasa. So I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't really like Flashpoint. I just don't like it. Part of the reason I don't like it is the points tick up way faster. So you don't get as many opportunities to come back as a team. And another reason I don't like it is while the points are laid out in an H formation on the map, sometimes it does feel like you have to run across the entire map and the other team spawns on the point. So you combine, I would say, seemingly unfair spawn and walking routes with the fact that you don't get as many team fights opportunities to come back. It feels like a very punishing game mode, and also there's only 2 maps for it, so it just gets boring. I guess there's a third now with Atlas or whatever it's called, but it looks like UNI, yeah, it's Atlas. UNI are gonna go ahead and pick Suravasa. I don't really feel like, and this is another problem I have with Flashpoint, I don't really feel like there's enough distinction between Suravasa and New Junk City. I feel like Atlas is at least distinct. I don't know, I feel like there's a ton of different routes that you can take on Atlas, and it feels kind of like a maze to play, and I don't love that, but I like that it's at least different than Suravasa and New Junk City, and at least feels like it's its own map because of that. I feel like Suravasa and New Junk City are just kind of boring. I think of the 2, I go back and forth on this. I would maybe like New Junk City a little bit more. I feel like New Junk City just has a little bit more character to it. I don't know. but the hero ban rules remain the same, so heroes that were banned in previous rounds are allowed to be picked now. And I don't know if you can reban them. I don't think that you can. We will see what goes on here. If you guys are liking the stream so far, please make sure to follow, drop a Go Cats in the chat, or Go Rosa. If you want to rep Panther Esports, you could go to guardianproline.com/collection/northern-iowa-panther-esports. There, or click the merch link, or type !merch and click that. There's shirts, t-shirts, jerseys. You can customize the jerseys with your gamer tag, and it is a great way to represent Panther Esports. Check out our socials with the links. We stream a lot of days of the week, all kinds of different games like League, Overwatch, Rocket League, Rainbow Six, Super Smash Bros. I don't know if there's still an Apex team, but we did have that. Valorant, Counter-Strike, pretty much all of the popular games. There is a place in the club for those games. Also, I want to talk about Northern Iowa Knockout 3. It's a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament hosted at University of Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa Knockout is UNI's annual Smash Bros. Event, so join us in the Mocker Union on October 25th at noon, when players come together and take part in a variety of modes, brackets, and tournaments at this annual event. Whether you're a more competitive player or a more relaxed player, there will be games for you. Competitive players who proceed farther in the tournaments can look forward to a cash prize. And additionally, this event will be live streamed with casters, and it's for everyone, so please visit start.gg/tournament/northern-iowa-knockout-3/details for more information regarding parking, pricing, and scheduling. Registration is open now. Please note that the registration for certain modes ends 3 days prior to the tournament, so make sure to check in advance. And we can't wait to see you there on October 25th at noon. Really quick, going back to the game here, looks like UNI Purple is going to be swapping out swapping out Unlasting for Matahuski. And UA Rosa is going to be banning Zarya. So really quick, while we have a minute, I am going to step away and refill my water. My voice is dying tonight, so I'll be right back. Okay. It looks like we are getting underway in game 3 here. Did switch hosts, so hopefully there are a lot less technical difficulties at the start of the round. Hopefully we don't have to wait another 10 minutes before we are underway. But thanks again for coming out tonight, guys. Game 3 of UNI versus UA Rosa. UNI Purple switching out on Lasting for Matahuski. On Saravasa. Now, it is Flashpoint, so again, this is pretty much just big game of control point on one map, with all of the control points being in an H formation. Currently, we're looking at the center point. A lot of times, people fight for that center doorway that we're looking at. We did see last week, SHSU Orange kind of spread out a little bit, and it did work out for them initially. but they also had a ball player. But it doesn't seem like Trixie, or excuse me, Vesper is a ball player. In fact, Vesper is going to be having the Junker Queen, and you know, I haven't played in a hot minute, but she was not very good when I was playing, and I've heard she's not the greatest now. So if it's a comfort pick, you know, maybe Vesper will make it work, but we know Roadkill can pump on the Hazard. So Totoro is going to be on the Sombra, Matahuski on the Reaper, Roadkill on the Hazard, Mako back at it with the Wuyong, and Mr. Sir Claps going to be going Juno. Roadkill going to be taken out by Trixie's Sojourn. Alucard's going Reaper this game. Fairy Girlfriend's on Kiriko, and Bavid is on the Wuyong. He is no longer banned. First tick is going to go over to UA Rosa. UNI going to do their best to regroup here, rearm, get ready for the fight, as Matahuski's getting pretty low on the Reaper. Going to have to Wraith out. Mr. Sir Claps getting some good poke damage in with the lock-on missiles. Oh, and Matahuski gonna get taken down by Vesper. Meanwhile, Roadkill's making some crazy space on the Ramatra. We've seen Roadkill put crazy work in on the Ramatra, but it's not gonna be enough here as he gets taken down. Totoro finding 2 picks of UA Rosa. Saw Totoro's Sombra is pretty good last week. Alucard, unfortunately, is gonna take out Mr. Sir Claps. And Totoro is just going to have to get out of here and live, hopefully, as UNI regroups for maybe one last push. The thing with Flashpoint is it ticks over very quickly, and we see UA Rosa have already almost captured this first Flashpoint, ticked up to 95% here. UNI have to touch now if they want to go for a cap. Fairy Girlfriend keeping their team alive. Alucard up top. Trading, UA Rosa gonna be finding a pick on Totoro and on Roadkill. Both members, or 2 members of UNI down. They are gonna lose this first point to UA Rosa as Rosa groups up and starts to head to the next point. They looked for maybe a pick onto that guy, but it was not quite there. And the spectators, we can't see what the next point is, which is really odd. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, but like they all know it's here, but there's no like objective marker for us. But it's gonna be this point that was recently added some water in the bottom. I kind of like it. Gives it a little bit more character. But we're gonna see a Kitsune Rush coming out from Fairy Girlfriend. Hopefully, just making space for UA Rosa. Oh, they do find a pick onto Matahuski towards the end. Totoro gonna be hacking EMP members of UA Rosa, but it's not going to be enough as Alucard and Trixie finding 3 members of UNI. Mako and Sir Claps going to be doing their best to try to live here. Nate is in there. It does get taken out. Right now, Alucard going to be holding that high ground with the Death Blossom ready. Members of UA Rosa holding this choke point, making it difficult for UNI to push as cap goes up to 60%. UNI's window of opportunity is closing. Vesper's going to take him to the Wasteland, finds 1 pick on the Roadkill with David there. Well, members of UNI are just waiting around for their team to regroup, maybe looking for a pick as the point is ticking up to 90% for UA Rosa. If UNI want to do something where they can touch the point, they have to do it now. UA Rosa gonna fall back as Matahuski tries to go in and touch. He gets the touch, but he dies. Mako, or excuse me, David gonna be using the Wuyong ult. Gonna be finding some value as Trixie does end up getting Roadkill with the overclock, and Vesper finds a pick on Totoro. Totoro finds a trade onto Trixie, but Mr. Sir Claps also goes down, and point 2 ticks over to UA Rosa. Right now, guys, it is going to be tough for UNI. They have to 3-0. They have to 3-0 UA Rosa on this map if they want to take this game 3 away from them. Otherwise, they are looking at 1-2 for this objective here. Right now, Matahuski fighting on the side here. A little Reaper battle. No one's coming out on top. Oh, Totoro, or sorry, Matahuski getting chased down by Alucard there. The Death Blossom does end up finding the kill on Mako. Unfortunately for UNI, they are going to be down one support here, as the point is going to tick over to UA Rosa yet again. UNI have to lock it in here, guys. Time for them to come back this round is very, very much closing. Like, they're going to have such a hard time, as point is ticking up to 20% for UA Rosa. UNI are fighting along the side there. Roadkill leading his team. They've got 3 ults to work with. They've got the Death Blossom. They've got the Terra Surge. And they've got the Wu Yang ult. I can't remember what it's called. Mr. Sir Claps almost has his Kitsune Rush. And no members of UA Rosa have an ult ready except for... Oh! Totoro finding a cheeky pick on the Trixie there. David's Wu Yang ult is almost ready. And Vesper's... oh! Here comes the Death Blossom from Matahuski, but he... Oh, Matahuski does get taken down. Meanwhile, Totoro manages to push David off the edge in a weird way with the Bola strike. No, I don't know what that was. Anyway, someone went off the edge. Both teams fighting on point right now. I think it's a 3v3. Oh, make that a 3v1 as Roadkill is the last man on the point right now, as Trixie is just unloading into him. UNI have the control of the objective right now, but they are losing members. Oh, they did lose one member. It's just one member, Roadkill. Sorry, I was saying members. But they are holding the point right now. It is a sketchy hold as Roadkill has to come back. It is their only hope. I don't know if Zarya is banned this game, but I think it would be a great Zarya game from Roadkill, as we see the fairy girlfriend use their Kitsune Rush to try to push out on a point. Matahuski and Mako finding picks, but Alucard takes out Mako. It's going to be a 4v5 on point in favor of UNI. Alucard going so low, but he does find the pick on Matahuski. UNI maintaining control of this point at 60% to UA's 97%. We'll see if UNI can seal the deal with this first point here, or if they're just going to lose to one Wu Yang ult from David here, because it is ready. The UNI knows they're hiding behind that pole. Here comes the Bola strike, pretty good. Finding not very much value. Here comes the Wu Yang ult for both teams. And the Terra Surge, huge play by Roadkill, but the Death Blossom in behind, stopped by Totoro, as UNI get a team kill onto UA Rosa, which is super duper huge for UNI. And I'm clapping a little bit because UA Rosa used a couple of ults that fight and they lost it. At this point in the game, UA Rosa should be looking at fights like that and saying, you know what, give UNI purple this point. We have 2 points capped. We don't need to waste everything trying to get this point back and end this game now. We can end it at this next point. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, guys, because they're missing 3 powerful ults, and UNI have 3 powerful ults nearly ready. Matahuski almost has the Deadeye. Mr. Sir Claps has the Kitsune. I wonder if we'll see it here. And Totoro almost has the Bola strike. Here comes the flashpoint is unlocked. UNI going to try to do their best to push forward here. Here comes the Kitsune Rush from Mr. Sir Claps. Roadkill looking for him. Members of UA Rosa, ooh, with a cheeky spear onto Vesper, onto that pole. You're gonna have no tank for UA Rosa. Alucard finds a pick onto Totoro, but Mako taking out David. We're looking at 4v5 on point, 4v2 on point in favor of UNI, as 3 members of UA Rosa are taken down. UNI gonna be capping the point. Now mid-fight there, UA Rosa, we're able to cap it and get 18% onto that point, but UNI are gonna cap it back and be up to 20% here. As the Deadeye is ready, Matahuski. We've seen some crazy Cassidy plays from Matahuski. And I really like the Cassidy perk where he's got the long range gun. That one, where he just shoots once big. Trixie gonna find a pick on a Roadkill. Mr. Sir Claps also going down. Matahuski trying to buy some time and some space with the Deadeye here. Ooh, but gets baited out by Alucard in the Wraith form. You hate to see it, as he goes down as well, and Totoro goes down. Not quite a team wipe for UA Rosa, but all members of UNI are down, as the point ticks over to UA Rosa. UNI have to get this point back, or they're going to lose this round. UA Rosa have the David's Wu Yang ult to work with. They've got Vesper's, oh my gosh, Junker Queen ult to work with, and Trixie's Overclock to work with. UNI only have Mako and Totoro's ult to work with, so we'll see if they can do something with it. I think it's a little bit harder. Okay, Alucard goes down to Matahuski. That's a huge pick for UNI. Okay, here comes the Wuyong ult from David and from Mako. David finding a little bit more value with his, though. Here comes the Reckoning from Vesper on 2 members of UNI. No cleanse to save them. Mr. Sir Claps goes down. Mako goes down. There's only 3 members of UNI left. 2 are on point, and 1 is coming back. As Totoro is the only one left and cannot touch point. And game 3 goes to UA Rosa. Currently, the score is 1-2 in favor of UA Rosa.
Play of the game.
As Totoro gets a pot G. Going into game 4 right now. Need to bring up the map pool. So going into game 4, we are going to be looking at push with the 3 maps available. Going to be Coliseo, Esperanza, New Queen Street, and that's it. Yeah, so I think you and I need to lock it in a little bit. That game 3 was relatively rough for them. I don't think Flashpoint has always been UNI's strong suit, but it was rough. I think they almost had a shot, especially after that, after they capped that first point, when UA Rosa blew a bunch of ults. Excuse me. When UA Rosa blew a bunch of ults trying to get UNI off the last point, off that first point that UNI caught. It was the 3rd point in the game, but it did not work out for them. I feel like there was maybe a missed window of opportunity when UNI and UA Rosa were fighting in the above, I'll say the above room on that last point that we saw. I don't know if there was a call out for it or how to describe it, but UNI had a couple of ults just about up and came up during that fight. And I think maybe they should have just pressed some Qs and tried to get some picks early on, but they waited a second and they hesitated. And members of UA Rosa were able to scatter. And UNI did end up getting the point, but coming back into that last fight, UNI lost some members and things were tough. So going into this game 4, it looks like it's going to be on Coliseo. And we're going to wait for any bans, any hero bans to come out, and we're going to wait to see if any swaps for either team come out. If you guys are enjoying this stream, make sure to put a Go Cats in the chat or go UA Rosa. Support your favorite team. Make sure to follow the stream, type !merch or click the merch link. It'll take you to guardianproline.com/collection/northern-iowa-panther-esports. It's the best way to rep Panther Esports because there's t-shirts, jerseys that you can customize, sweatshirts and beanies and polos and whatnot. Also, if you guys are Super Smash Bros. Fans, we'd like to promote Northern Iowa Knockout 3. It's a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Tournament hosted at the University of Northern Iowa. Join us in Mock Reunion on October 25th at noon when when players come together annually and take part in a variety of modes, brackets, and tournaments. And whether you're a more competitive player or a more relaxed player, there will be games for you. Competitive players who proceed further in the tournaments can look forward to a cash prize. And additionally, this event will be live streamed with casters. And it is for everyone, all players of all skill levels. If you're interested, please visit start.gg/tournament/northern-iowa-knockout-3/details for more information regarding parking, pricing, and scheduling. And registration is open now. Please note that registration for certain modes ends 3 days prior to the tournament, so make sure to check in advance. We can't wait to see you there on October 25th at noon. I don't know if I mentioned that yeah, I did mention there is a cash prize for some of the tournaments. So, that's pretty cool. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people there. So it's a great way to make friends. It's a great way to play with some more experienced Smash players. And it's just a good time in general. It's in the food court area. So I think that there's going to be food there that you can buy. I don't know. But definitely check that out. Let's see. So it looks like for hero bans, UA Rosa are going to be pretty irritated with Totoro's Sombra immediately, and they are just going to ban Sombra. Meanwhile, UNI are going to ban the Ana away from UA Rosa. I think Ana's a great pick on Colosseo and a pretty good ban on Colosseo. I think Sombra is also a pretty good ban on Colosseo. There's some spots where Sombra can translocate in and pretty easily EMP the entire enemy team. So right now we're just checking if everybody's ready, and then we will be underway. For game 4 of UNI Purple versus UA Rosa. Should be pretty fun. Again, I really think UNI are thirsty for a win here. They want to keep a trend of winning. They won last week, but I think UA Rosa are also very thirsty for a win because they've not gotten a series win yet this season. But I've got that feeling, folks, that there will be a game 3 tonight as UNI fight pretty hard. They fight pretty dang hard for wins on the push. Production Bill, can you please type R? Thank you. Okay, everybody is ready in the game. Hopefully they start it, and hopefully there aren't a bunch of, resets. Yeah, tell them, come on in. Come on in. Okay, so on Colosseo, we talk about hero picks. I think all kinds of heroes can be good. I think you can find some value in the sniper picks with the Widowmakers, with the Ashes, with the Hanzos, but I don't know if anybody's going to go for that. I think in terms of supports, a lot of different supports are viable here. I've seen Brigitte do well on this map, but I feel like the sight lines are a little bit long for Brigitte. I think a lot of different tanks can work on this map. I feel like Rhine might not be as good. Some of the shorter range tanks might not be as good. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Roadkill pull out his patented tried and true Ramatra, though he hasn't been having the greatest luck with it this series. We also might see him pull out his tried and true Zarya, which we have been seeing him put in some work with this series. Over on the side of UA Rosa, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Freya pick again or a Sojourn pick again. That those two characters have been doing monstrous amounts of work for UA Rosa, but it looks like so far both teams are going to be hovering the following characters for now. People like to swap, but UNI looking at a Widowmaker, Genji, Orisa, Wuyong, and Kiriko lineup. And over the side of UA Rosa, we're going to be looking at a Wuyong, Kiriko, Genji, Soldier 76, which we've not seen yet tonight. Never mind. Trixie switches to the Freya again, and Vesper is going to be on that Ramatra. So UNI going to be favoring Roadkill's Orisa over Roadkill's Zarya, which I think is interesting because we know that the Freya picks tonight have been pretty brutal for UNI to deal with. On last day, going to be pulling out on his Genji, which is a very tried and true pick, and we've seen Totoro pop off on the Widowmaker before. We'll have to see if it finds value here. Totoro's Widowmaker is awesome because it draws pressure, and Totoro doesn't get picked straight away all the time. But UNI works with the pressure that Totoro draws on the Widowmaker very well. But Roadkill's going to be getting pretty low on Orisa here. Mako going to have to splash on him a little bit to keep him up. On the side, Alucard doing some poke damage. Trying to look for a pick here on Lasting. Doing the same, but in the middle. Got a couple members of UA Rosa out on the outside right now. Just kind of hanging out. Mr. Sir Clap's getting low. Totoro also getting low, but Mako keeping him in the fight, keeping him up. This is Sir Clap's Oh, sorry, Roadkill getting in there, getting active, getting down to 1, and does go down. That's going to be Vesper finding the pick on the Roadkill. Going to be huge for UA Rosa, as UNI are going to have to fall back here, losing their main front line. The tank on lasting going to be going down to Vesper's punch. Vesper once more. He's chasing after Mr. Sir Claps, finds that pick, and Totoro ends up going down to Trixie as well. Now Trixie, Freya has been quite the thorn in UNI's side tonight, as Totoro going to switch off the Widowmaker and onto the Tracer, which we haven't seen tonight. That can be pretty devastating with the Wuyong ult. We've seen that time and time again so far in this league. The Wuyong ult onto the Tracer, triple blink into the team. Really hard to dodge that CC. We see a Kitsune rush coming from Mr. Sir Claps. No value yet, just kind of pushing people back. As Trixie also has no value with their ult. The Bola. Meanwhile, Annihilation coming out from Vesper. In the heart of the UNI Panthers, he finds Mr. Sir Claps. Alucard finds Unlasting, but Totoro trades and finds Alucard. It's going to be a 3v4 in favor of AU Rosa right now, as Trixie turns it into a 2v4, taking out Totoro. Members of both teams are on the way back, but Roadkill gets taken out, and the stagger on push commences. I didn't talk about this very much, folks, but the stagger on the push game mode is one of the reasons a lot of people don't like it. When you win one push, you have to basically win another fight to keep pushing. So far it's been working out for UA Rosa, but it's also tough for UNI. I don't know, the spawn is right there. We're going to see a Blade come out from Unlasting, but he's going to get picked off. Fairy going to be Kitsune rushing, but he gets picked off, and so does David. Mako getting picked off by Alucard. Members of... Oh! Never mind. I thought the Trixie jumped off the map and died for a sec, but I was incorrect. UNI very much on the back foot here. Though they do get the bot, and they are walking it over. I think that's just because members of UA Rosa got a little bit too low and did not want to continue fighting. But you got to be careful when you're pushing up the cart like that, because Fairy Girlfriend finds the pick on the Roadkill. The main frontliner, the tank, being picked off again. Roadkill's got to lock it in a little bit here. He's not able to find so much value for his team and making space, as UA Rosa have nearly got the bot to this first checkpoint. Now, I was saying before the push thing, they have to win 2 fights to get this bot pushed back forward, and UNI need to recognize this and get down in there and get in the action. Unlasting knows he is getting in there with Totoro right now, finds the pick on Fairy Girlfriend. Roadkill finding a pick on Vesper. 2 picks, another one on Trixie there. Another pick for UNI, as David is the final member of UA left alive. Gonna be trying to get out there. UNI have to regroup here and get ready to push on this bot. It's gonna be pretty tough for them, as members of UA Rosa are gonna be grouped up, bunched up, and ready to fight. Hi, Melissa. Shout out to Melissa. Back to the game. Unlasting doing his best to DPS here. We're going to see a Kitsune rush and come out from Mr. Sir Claps, but meanwhile, David's going to be using the Wuyong ult. Both teams not finding a ton of value with their respective support ults. Looks like UA Rosa is a lot more bunched up and grouped up right now, and Unlasting gets punched by Vesper. Right now, Fairy Girlfriend just trying to keep their team alive as they reconverge on the push bot here. UNI trying to do their best to stay up. Here comes the Terra Surge from Roadkill, finding a little bit of value with Mako on that Wuyong, but unfortunately Mako gets taken out by Alucard along with Totoro. Roadkill going down to Fairy Girlfriend. Nate finds a pick on Trixie, but does end up going down to a Genji melee. With 4.5 minutes left in the game, UA Rosa get control of the push bot again. UNI are all dead except for the Genji here. They are going to be looking for a regroup angle. If Genji gets picked off here, it is pretty bad for UNI. But it does not look like Unlasting is going to go down. Totoro's Pulse Bomb is ready. Mako's Wuyong ult is ready. Unlasting's Blade is almost ready. So UNI have definitely got better ult economy than UA Rosa. And they're going to have to work with it here as they converge on the robot, slowly pushing UA back. Vesper's got the Annihilation ready. And Fairy Girlfriend does have the Kitsune Rush ready, and I think that they're going to combo them here. We'll see which team is first to press Q as Roadkill goes down and Unlasting goes down.
And I think we're going to lose some more members of UNI here as Totoro getting down to 1 goes down. Mako and Mr. Sir Claps trying to do their best to survive. They're making it out a little bit, but Mako is getting chased by so many people, and so is Mr. Sir Claps. Anyway, Rosa getting up to this checkpoint again. I think that they're going to get it this time and get that forward spawn, which is going to make UNI's life that much more difficult. But Totoro sees that they're almost on, gets that touch, ensuring that UA Rosa doesn't get that forward spawn. Well played, Totoro. Meanwhile, in the backline, on lasting, get to blade off, but Fairy Girlfriend and Vesper take out 2 members of his team. He's just going to go and hide, draw a little bit of pressure, but he is going to unfortunately go down. Totoro coming back right now, has the pulse bomb, is looking around, maybe can try to find some value. You got to be careful though, because that Suzu can make things a little bit more difficult. The Bola coming out from Trixie, finding no value for UA Rosa. Right now, Alucard going down. And right now, UNI doing their best to survive and not get totally locked out. UNI have to win this game, guys, otherwise UA Rosa win this series. Remember, it is 1-2 in favor of UA Rosa as UNI are grouped up here onto this bridge. Mako gonna use the Wukong, or Wu Yang ult, excuse me. Roadkill getting in there deep. Totoro and Unlasting both finding a pick in this fight. Meanwhile, Trixie tried their best to survive. Does end up flying off the map. Unlasting finding another pick onto Alucard, winning that little Genji battle, finding a pick on Vesper. As UNI get control of the push bot once again. With 2.5 minutes left in the game, they are nowhere near winning this game quite yet. Totoro still has that pulse bomb ready to pop. You got to be careful who you put it on, because the Kitsune, or sorry, the Kiriko Suzu, I think it'll save you from it. And it's not really going to do anything to Ramatra. Freya's always in the air, so you're looking at pretty much Wu Yang. UNI. Okay, so the Pulse Bomb comes out, finds no value, but the Terror Surge comes out from Roadkill. Ooh, getting Vesper really low, but his supports are keeping him in, but not good enough. Totoro finds the pick. Meanwhile, Trixie shot a Bola to no value, but does find a pick on Unlasting a little bit after. Alucard gonna be swift striking through Mako, finding that pick, but unfortunately goes down to Totoro, as right now Roadkill, Mr. Sir Claps, and Totoro are pushing the bot forward for UNI right now. Folks, I think this might be a case where they want to step back a little bit, maybe give the bot back to UA Rosa, because it is a 3v5 right now, and they're a little bit caught out of position now at 2v5 as Totoro has to run away and heal. Everybody's kind of going a different direction. I think it's a good call for them to back up a little bit, but here comes the game of push, where you got to win more than one fight in a row to actually push the objective. And UA so far has been doing a very good job of winning. Here comes the blade from Unlasting and from Alucard, but Unlasting's Genji comes out on top. But unfortunately, an annihilation comes out from Vesper, pushing members of UNI back off the cart. He's just going to hang out here, just buy some space for his team. Not huge value, but good enough. Here comes Roadkill, charging in, making space for the team. In the back line, we're looking at Totoro dashing around, but not dashing fast enough as Totoro gets picked off. The Kitsune Rush coming out from Fairy Girlfriend. Trixie finding that pick onto Totoro is going to make this a 4v5 in favor of UA Rosa. Now a 3v5 as Unlasting goes down. Members of UNI are trickling back to the point, and Unlasting is trying to do his best, or excuse me, Roadkill is trying to do his best. Mr. Claps and Mako helping him, but it's not enough as UA Rosa are getting a commanding lead on this game. 2 seconds left. They are not walking the bot. That's a huge call, but the touch from Totoro saving UNI's hopes. Remember, it's 1-2. UNI have to come back here if they want to have a chance at winning this series. Overkill on that ball pick, trying to come back and touch. Totoro finding a pulse bomb onto Alucard, making it a 5v4 in favor of UNI. Members of UNI are trying their best to kill members of UA Rosa, but the supports. Oh, David going down to 1 HP on the Wu Yang, not gonna be killed there. UNI on the push bot in overtime. If UNI step off this bot, it is GG, guys. Here comes a huge blade from Unlasting. Oh, is not gonna find. Okay, finds value a little bit as Mr. Sir Claps and Unlasting find members of UA Rosa. Unfortunately, Unlasting goes down, making this a 4v5 going into UA Rosa's spawn doors. Roadkill doing his best on the ball, Very difficult character. I can't play ball very well. Meanwhile, Trixie's got the Bola ready. Vesper's got the Annihilation ready. Fairy Girlfriend's got the Kitsune Rush ready. UNI are not ready for what's about to come from UA Rosa. We'll have to see. Here comes the Bola from Trixie. Here comes a Wuyong ult to try to save somebody from Mako. Meanwhile, Roadkill goes down. Here comes the Annihilation. Mako goes down. It's a 3v5, 2v5, 1v5 as UA Rosa team kills UNI Purple to win the series 3-1. You take a drink here. Unfortunately, that is going to be it for UNI Purple tonight, as it is first to 3. UNI Purple, or sorry, UA Rosa are going to come out on top in the game 3 here, or sorry, game 4. Hopefully UNI are able to come back next week and win. Thanks for coming out to the stream, everybody, tonight. Thanks for showing your support in the chat for both teams. If you guys enjoy these streams, make sure to follow. Make sure to check out our socials. There's buttons for them at the bottom of the Twitch, so scroll down. If you want to show your support for Panther Esports, make sure to type !merch or click the merch link. It'll take you to guardianproline.com/collections/northern-iowa-panther-esports.